Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be giving my match predictions for week 30 Premier League fixtures. And if you have anything like we just saw in week 29, I'm telling you the games are going to be epic. For week 29 fixtures, we actually saw some amazing results. We saw some epic moments, like I said. We saw Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players of all time, score a great hat-trick against Tottenham Hotspur. We also saw Brentford beat Burnley to make sure they can get as far away as possible from the relegation zone. And we also saw Everton suffer a devastating 1-0 defeat at home against Wolves. But for week 30, we've got some amazing games. We've got some extraordinary games which you're going to see. I know Arsenal and Liverpool are not part of week 30 fixtures and it's going to be rescheduled in terms of Wednesday's football. But I'm telling you, I'm going to be predicting that as well because this is a great game. Two sides chasing their ambitions. Liverpool the title race, Arsenal a top 4 place. We also got Leicester versus Brentford. Brentford looking to pick up another 3 points, their third win in a row. And we even got a great clash, a London clash, Spurs versus West Ham, and whenever these two teams tangle, it's always a great fixture to watch. But before I go on my video and give my match predictions, you know what I'm going to say. Make sure you guys like, comment, and hit that big subscribe button right there. And please subscribe because I'm like 100 subscribers away from 1,000. And please, only like 10% of you guys are actually subscribed. So if you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button. It will help the channel grow. So the first game I'm going to be predicting, yes, you guessed right, it's Arsenal versus Liverpool, Liverpool versus Arsenal, and this is going to be an extraordinary game to watch. We got two of the top 6 sides clashing in terms of this game, Arsenal versus Liverpool, and both of them still have so much to play for this season. Arsenal hunting down a top 4 place, potentially a top 3 place, may I dare say, and we've got Liverpool chasing the title contenders, the title favourites, Manchester City. But going in this game, both teams will be happy. Both teams have been playing amazing football. These two teams have collected the most points in their last 10 games compared to any side in terms of the Premier League so far. And despite Liverpool's great form so far in terms of the Premier League this season in the last 8 to 9 games, it isn't going to be a walk in the park. I know we beat them earlier this season at Anfield and we absolutely battered them. I know we beat them at the Emirates in the Carabao Cup. But at the end of the day, if we've seen Arsenal's record at the Emirates this season, they've only lost 2 of those games. One against the world champions and the other against the Premier League champions. And the game against Manchester City, let's be honest, Man City were lucky and fortunate to be walking away with the 3 points against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. So Arsenal, the players, the fans, the manager have made this stadium a fortress, and whichever teams come here have found it very difficult to win. You know what they say, there's no place like home. It's just the aura for the Arsenal players being at the Emirates. It just gives them the confidence and belief for them to win any game, whichever team they're facing, even if it's Liverpool, one of the best teams in Europe. However, tactically it's going to be interesting. It's going to be intriguing to see how Mikel Arteta sets up, because we've seen them have so much success being on the front foot, dominating possession, monopolising the ball, and really going for it, especially when you have players like Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, who are really gelling as a 3. Just behind Lacazette, also linking up the play. We are starting to see them understand each other's game better, knowing when to make the runs, when to drop in deep. So it's not going to be dysfunctional. It's not going to feel like how it was earlier on in the season where Liverpool absolutely demolished Arsenal, 3 or 4-1 at their stadium. We know Liverpool are quite similar in the fact that they want to dominate the ball as well, really push high, pin Arsenal back. So it's going to be interesting to see if Mikel Arteta actually compromises in his style of play, let Liverpool have the majority of the ball, so when on the counter-attack, really hurt and punish Liverpool and expose them for their high line. We saw Martinelli have a decent/good game in his last game against Leicester City, literally giving Ricardo Pereira the run around at the right back position. So obviously we know Trent Alexander-Arnold loves to push forward. Let's see if Martinelli can use his great dangerous pace in behind to really stretch Liverpool's defence. But at the same time, I feel like Liverpool defensively have been amazing, especially in 2022. Back-to-back clean sheets in their last 2 games when it felt like at times they weren't defending as unit when it comes to the offside trap, trying to catch the other team off guard when running in behind. But now it feels like for Liverpool, in terms of their backline, there's much more communication, there's greater understanding when it comes to pushing up as a team. So it's going to be interesting to see if Liverpool can catch Saka, Martinelli, Lacazette, whoever's running in behind in the offside trap, because that's going to be the key ingredient for Arsenal when it comes to trying to beat Liverpool. But at the end of the day, I feel like Liverpool just have too much talent. We are seeing Luis Diaz playing absolutely brilliant, absolutely phenomenal, hitting the ground running. I thought he is going to take him time, because we know if Jurgen Klopp players, it takes them a little bit of time to be embedded to the system, but he's just been put straight into the starting lineup, and he hasn't disappointed us, taking players on, scoring that goal, putting his head on the line, trying to get a header and scored against Brighton. So honestly, whoever's playing right back, Cedric, Tomiyasu still looks is going to be out. Cedric's going to have a run for his money throughout the 90 minutes. Salah obviously scoring a penalty, having the drama about his contract, but it's not looking like it's phasing him because he's still scoring goals, reaching 20 goals in the Premier League. So honestly, I feel like Liverpool have a great opportunity and I feel like we're going to win. Arsenal are a great side, but at the end of the day, look at the calibre of teams which have been Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester City, and we all know Liverpool fall in that ballpark in terms of quality, in terms of the manager and the players. So at the end of the day, Liverpool will win. I'm going to go for a 3-1 convincing victory. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Spurs versus West Ham, and another amazing game we're going to see. A London derby. Whenever Spurs and West Ham clash, we are never disappointed. It actually lives up to the reputation of a fierce, competitive London derby whenever these two sides face. Even though early on in the season West Ham did win 1-0, if you watched the game, you would have been pleasantly surprised to think, wow, although only one goal went in, it was a great game to watch. Going into this game, it's going to be hard to predict because, like I said in my last video and the video before, we just do not know what side Tottenham will show up with. We saw 5-0 against Everton, and then we see them lose 3-2 against Manchester United, conceding very sloppy goals. Reguilon for one of the goals where he didn't step up to catch Sancho offside, which allowed him to assist Ronaldo, and even for the great header Ronaldo did in his third goal, the defenders should have been much more stronger in the air to at least put Ronaldo off. So going into this game, I just don't know what side Spurs will show up with. Like I said, deciding against with Everton, where they're playing free-flowing, attacking football, really epitomizing the name of Conte ball, the way they'll gain the ball to the wing-backs, really hurting Everton. Or they're just going to be flat like the team against Manchester United, where there wasn't really that much quality in the game for Spurs, only scoring a penalty and relied on the Maguire own goal. And going into this game, honestly, I just feel like West Ham show much more guts, much more desire and heart in these sort of games, because we've seen in the last 3 games in the Premier League, West Ham have not lost to Tottenham. They really rise up to the occasion because obviously this is West Ham's biggest rival. Obviously it's not reciprocated because Tottenham have Arsenal as their rivals, and maybe this actually leads to it. Maybe the Tottenham players don't really get fazed by this moment. Yes, they did beat West Ham in the Carabao Cup, but come on, man, when it comes to the Premier League, West Ham are a different beast when they verse Tottenham Hotspurs. Going in this game, I just feel like West Ham are going to sit back, going to be organised, structured defensively, resilient, make sure there's not that many holes for players like Harry Kane to pick up the ball, to launch those passes in behind for Son, whoever's making those runs, maybe even Lucas Moura if he starts in this game. And I feel like this is going to be a key ingredient for West Ham's success. Players like Zuma, players like Dawson, Souček, Rice, whoever's in the middle of the park trying to defend Harry Kane on the half turn, they have to be aggressive, they have to be tight, they have to be physical, because that's really Spurs' only real chance of creating opportunities. No one else on the pitch is really that gifted with the ball to feet. So if West Ham can prevent the Source from playing Harry Kane, they're going to have a great opportunity of beating Tottenham Hotspur, especially since Spurs defensively are very easy to be got at. I know Romero has been a decent signing, but players like Dyer, players like Davis, players like Sanchez, they got mistakes in them. Antonio has been proven to be a massive handful for Spurs because whenever he plays in this game, he just shows up, whether it's a goal or his all-round performance like we saw in the last game against Spurs at the Olympic Stadium. To go in this game, I'm going to be predicting the upset. I always feel like West Ham rise up for these occasions, and I just can't trust Spurs because I don't know what I'm going to get from them. West Ham coming off a nice victory, an emotional victory with Yarmolenko scoring the goal to make it 2-1. And I just feel like the momentum will continue because of the emotional feeling around West Ham wanting to do it for Yarmolenko. So going for this game, I'm going to be predicting a 2-1 away win. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Leicester City versus Brentford. And we know Brentford are going to be looking to increase the gap from themselves to the relegation contenders because they have been winning their last 2 or 3 games or so. Brentford fans, Brentford players must be absolutely delighted with the performances because earlier on in terms of the year 2022, it just feels like they teetered a bit. It just felt like the quality, the intensity levels was not there, especially since the last win before the last 2 games against Norwich and Burnley was in January the 2nd against Aston Villa. But ever since then, it just felt like the performances was not there. However, it's undeniable the spark of Christian Eriksen. The light has loomed large across the West London club because the way they have been playing has been extraordinary. Ivan Toney scored 5 goals in his last 2 games. Christian Eriksen, like I said, had a pivotal role to play in the assist and creating chances throughout the game against Norwich and Burnley. So going this game, Brentford do have the momentum that they can potentially beat Leicester City, who although have won 2 of their last 3 games, have not been playing good. The game against Leeds, Schmeichel was man of the match, and that tells you everything. A goalkeeper should not be man of the match if you win a game, because you should be looking to dominate, being on the front foot, try to take the game to the opposition. Leicester were anything but that, especially having Jamie Vardy a massive miss due to his injury. We saw the impact he had against Arsenal, not creating that many chances or opportunities with his great movement off the ball. I don't see how Leicester City are going to get enough goals to win this game. I know Brentford are away from home. They do not have a good record away from home because they don't feel comfortable travelling on the road to try pick up a victory like we've seen all season. But I just feel like it's a little bit different. When you have the X factor of Eriksen, the intensity and the quality levels rises because obviously you're going to be in competition inspired by him, wanting to prove to him that obviously you can keep up with his nice performances. So going into this game, I'm going to be predicting a shocking away victory for Brentford. Surprisingly so, yes, but Leicester have been inconsistent all season and they have just not looked like themselves compared to last year. I'm going to go for a 2-1 away victory for Brentford. So the next game I'm going to be predicting is Wolves versus Leeds. And just like Brentford, Leeds desperately need a victory to keep clawing themselves away from the relegation scrap this season. I just feel like that win, that vital win against Norwich City at their home stadium was desperately needed because it just felt like that dark cloud was hanging over Leeds because Bielsa's a legend and the fans didn't want him to go. And the fact a win wasn't arriving quick enough, it just felt like the pressure was arising across the Leeds players and especially the manager, like I said. So getting that first victory, we saw the emotions on the touchline in the 93rd, 4th minute. He knew he needed that to get the credibility to continue to push Leeds forward in the right direction this season. Like I said, Leeds have been playing great under him. The game against Leicester, like I said, was absolutely phenomenal. They kept missing chances just like they did against Norwich. How many times did they hit the crossbar? It was absolutely unreal. I'm telling you, Rafinha looks rejuvenated. He looks inspired, especially since Bielsa's gone. He has a point to prove to the new manager that his heart's in Leeds and wants to stay and continue to play good football this season. Brentford, obviously a massive addition back into the squad after his long-term injury. We saw the impact he had on the game. But going this game against Wolves, it's not going to be like this. You're not going to create chance after chance because we know Norwich have one of the worst defensive records in the Premier League and Wolves are nothing like that. They're defensively sound, solid. So Leeds, you're going to have to take your chances if you really want to win away from home against Wolves. Yes, Wolves don't create that many chances either to take advantage of Leeds, I won't say bad defence, improving defence, but obviously not to the standards you want them to be, conceding 5 in the last 3 games. Wolves do have enough going forward efficiently to get enough goals to win games like we saw against Everton, that 1-0 victory. However, going this game, I just feel like Wolves are resilient. They're effective, they're efficient, they know how they want to play, they make teams restless, and I just feel like the game against Leeds, they will be able to get 1 goal, which you have seen so many times this season, is enough for them to win games. So going in this game, I'm going to be predicting a 1-0 victory. So the last game I'm going to be predicting is Everton versus Newcastle. And who would have thought, I would have told you the last time these two sides met, that Everton would have been the more likely side to get relegated this season. I'm just telling you. Everton have been absolutely pathetic, diabolical, losing 4 of their last 4 games. Under Frank Lampard, you're supposed to have that new manager bounce. You're trying to please the new manager, trying to make your stake why you should be in the starting 11 consistently. The Everton players have not been like this at all, and I'm telling you, they just do not have the mentality to understand that you have to be tough, especially in these matches, if you want to stay in the Premier League this season. Everton do not have the makeup of a relegation side because they have too many fancy players. You do not know the grit and the fight and the battles and the claws and the aggressiveness you need in this sort of fight, especially when you do not have the quality going your way. You need to be able to roll up your sleeves and understand, you know what, we're just going to do a job and try win the game, even if we don't have enough chances to be entertaining our fans. We saw against Spurs losing 5-0. Naive enough to keep pressing even though it wasn't working. Tottenham kept slicing through them like butter. And even the game against Wolves, getting the red card, I know later on in the game, they just didn't perform well enough to win the game all around. So going in this game against Newcastle, they just have no confidence. I just don't see them winning, especially against the Newcastle side who have won like 7 of their last 9 games, who have been absolutely amazing. I know they lost against Chelsea, a 1-0 defeat. But if you saw the game, you know Newcastle should have had a red card go in their favour because Havertz had a massive elbow on their 6'6" Dan Burn. We also know that they should have had a penalty go their way. And if you watch the first half, especially the way they were brave, courageous, hounding those Chelsea defenders, trying to win the ball in a dangerous area to create chances in the final third. Newcastle were not scared. They were not phased going to the home of the European/world champions. Eddie Howe has been getting them to play a specific style of play, entertaining on the front foot despite the opposition, and they have been having great success. And this is even without St. Maximin, who is obviously a pivotal part with the way Newcastle have been playing. So going in this game, there's going to be one winner. Despite the loss, like I said, against Chelsea, confidence still should be at high at Newcastle compared to it being at the floor on the bottom for Everton with the way they've been playing, like I said, losing the last 4 games. So going in this game, I'm going to be predicting a 2-0 away victory